My goal today is to get all these little tomatoes in the ground. These two little cups over here, there's some eggplants. One of them came up. The other one doesn't seem like it. Looks like it's just got some leaves in it. That looks like a little tomato that was taken, likely by a little squirrel or a bird. And then I don't know if you can see the little tiny green guy in there. He's a ground cherry. There's a couple little tiny sprouts in there. They seem to be a little more difficult for me to get figured out. But all of my other little sprouts and tomatoes, they seem pretty happy. So this here is just a little mix of some coffee grounds and some crab legs that were dried and ground up. So I'm just going to sprinkle this mix in this bed where a majority of my tomatoes are going to be going. And then I'm going to rake it in and get some of those little guys in the ground. Look at these guys. They're so happy. Little beans that popped up. What kind of beans? Pretty sure they're black beans. I actually planted them in a different bed for corn. I only put them in there for corn. And then I must have moved some dirt around or something, and now they're just popping up randomly between this bed here and this bed here. So every time I move all of these little starters here, I wind up with little beans underneath that have popped up. We're just gonna give this a little mix. Like I might just leave those beans in there because they ain't hurting nobody. I'll give the dirt a little drink. Alright, so I dropped 4 pink fang tomatoes in here. They're kind of like aroma. I have 11 Roma tomatoes. So there is 4 in one row, 3 in the center, and 4 in the other row there next to it. Move the shade, there we go. So I have a row of Cherokee purple tomatoes, so there's 4 of those in this row. And then this was a Kellogg's breakfast tomato, so I've got 4 of those in this row. See, just poking up right there. So now this one over here was the terracotta tomatoes. I have, I believe, about 11 in there as well. So they're in 3 rows there. I had a bunch of them pop up. So I actually did have quite a few more of these other varieties pop up. However, I took a day and I potted them 2 or 3 depending on variety in these little pots, and they have their variety written on the pot. So in case of failure on these bigger ones that I was planning on keeping, or if they all decided to thrive, I could share with friends. So I have a couple pots of a couple different starters there to share. Now I just give them a little drink. So this soil was already a little bit wet down inside there. And then the soil that I transplanted them in, the little bits that was left, it was already wet. I watered this morning. I just want to make sure that things are settled, because I did move a little bit around when I was putting in the fertilizer and when I dug up the little holes to put them in. So keep you updated how they go.